I think it's really going to be fascinating. These companies start to emerge and teams start to really implement this technology in innovative ways to build better fan experiences for their audience and their consumers.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Sideline Stories. Today I'm joined by Malcolm Lemmons, former professional basketball player, creator of The Hype Report, and a contributing writer at Boardroom. How are you doing today, Malcolm?
I'm doing fantastic, Brendan. I appreciate the opportunity, man.
Absolutely. Thank you for taking your time today. Can you just start with a quick intro on who you are?
Yeah, for sure, man. So I tell people all the time, like I was a kid who just had a dream to play basketball. So I chased that throughout my whole life. Was fortunate enough to go play in college at Division I, then had the opportunity to go play pro for a few years. So I achieved that dream, but as with all athletes, that has to come to an end one day. So transitioned out of basketball and started working in technology. And on the side, just had this affinity and passion for the sports business space. So I had always kind of had a hand in that and started a number of different projects over the years, but ultimately landed on building the Hype Report, which is a newsletter at the intersection of sports and Web3, which I'm sure we'll dive deeper into, and then start writing for Boardroom. So it's been a series of a lot of trial and error and figuring out my path in life after sports. Was just super passionate about the sports industry and how it kind of impacts different areas of life and things of that nature. So
a question that you probably get all the time, you mentioned AI, NFTs, Web3, crypto. As someone who hasn't gone down that rabbit hole yet, how would you describe how all of those concepts, ideas are related to one another?
Yeah, so I like to kind of bucket NFTs, crypto, in the metaverse and DAOs under the Web3 umbrella, mainly as these technologies or these concepts are using blockchain, which is essentially just a transparent, immutable ledger that anybody could access and view. And it's just using this technology to create more transparency, as I said before, around transactions on the internet or anything peer-to-peer. So it's giving people, it's making the internet just a lot more open, and it's also enabling trustless interactions between different parties. So kind of removing intermediaries like big tech companies from the equation, but also giving people ownership over their data and their intellectual property and things that they put out on the internet. And I just look at AI as being a part of that in a way. But artificial intelligence, I think, will permeate the world in different industries in a different way. And I think the way that artificial intelligence, the impact that it would have will probably be greater. These are technological advances that are going to really revolutionize, whether it's sports or healthcare or real estate. Like, they're going to change the way we all do business. And I think it's really important for people to at least have some type of grasp on how to use these different tools and how to implement them in their daily lives. Because as I always say, like, innovation doesn't move backwards. There's going to be bumps in the road. There's going to be setbacks, but it's not like we're going to go, once these things are out and into the world, it's going to be a, part of the basic fabric of society. And so understanding their importance and how you can use these technologies, I think is really important for everybody, whether you work in sports or not, to really understand.
What are some of the greatest potential ways that sports and AI or sports and Web3 will continue to intersect that might not be talked about enough yet?
Yeah, I mean, it's a loaded question, man. There's tons of ways. I think that teams and organizations and sports properties are already starting to implement these technologies, or at least test them out. I've only kind of been diving in the intersection of like sports and AI probably for the past 3 or so months, but I've come across companies who are AI powered that are building their, building capabilities to create personalized nutrition plans for each individual athletes, or companies that are using artificial intelligence to reduce injuries and improve player performance, and leveraging statistics in really intricate ways. And so a lot of this machine learning technology, is really going to improve how players operate on a daily basis, and I think in turn kind of improve career longevity and help athletes perform better. And then on the team side, one thing I know a lot of stadiums are implementing with AI and biometric facial recognition, which is basically taking all of the sensations and features in your face to and all kind of utilize implementing artificial intelligence within that for facial recognition. So like the same thing we kind of do with our iPhones, they're utilizing that within stadium settings so that you don't even need a ticket to get into the arena. You can just scan your face and walk through. So that's some of the ways that I've started to explore and kind of dive into on the AI side. And then when you think about Web3 and the blockchain and how that could really give teams and organizations more insight as to who their consumers are, and a lot more data behind their decision makings and how they are operating as a consumer. I mean, the kind of the use cases are endless. And you would think about how you can create, we all have, like most people have iPhones. You have, your wallet, your digital wallet on your iPhone. So like having a way where teams can embed tickets in that, and every purchase that you make on the team side, whether that's a jersey or something at the concession stand or any type of merchandise, they have that information and that data on you as a consumer, and you can they can essentially provide certain access or giveaways or airdrop you certain things based on your level of consumerism or your level of fandom with that specific team. So that information, I think, is going to be extremely critical for a lot of different teams, and them being able to utilize blockchain. And then from the athlete perspective, man, I think like, athletes starting their own NFT projects and not just doing it as a means of like putting out something for the artistry, but like having actual utility behind it. So like you purchase an NFT from Steph Curry, for example, and you get access to hit a meet and greet, or certain merchandise that he signed, or you get invited to certain games based on like that, the price point of the NFT that you bought and things of that nature. So there's a number of different use cases for this technology. But as I said before, like it goes back to like, why are you doing something at the end of the day, and what is the person on the other side of the equation getting? And so I think it's really going to be fascinating as, these companies start to emerge and teams start to really implement this technology in innovative ways to build better fan experiences for their audience and their consumers at the end of the day.
I love how you connected that back to the fan and the fan experience, because that's exactly what I was going to ask you next. Really, really appreciate you, Malcolm. Thank you for taking the time. The floor is yours at this time. If there's anything else you'd like to add, if there's anything we didn't touch on that you want to just leave people with, but I'd also ask you, please let us know where we can find you and yourself online through the Hype Report. Definitely plug your socials, and yeah, floor is yours.
Absolutely. No, man, I appreciate the opportunity, man. Anytime that I could kind of leverage, my experiences and things that I've done in life to hopefully inspire or help somebody else, I'm always happy to do so. But I'm pretty much Malcolm Lemmons on every social media platform, probably most active on LinkedIn and Twitter. So you can find me there, and the Hype Report is www.thehypereport.xyz. And always appreciate any feedback or shares, as it pertains to the Hype Report. So, again, appreciate the opportunity, man, and looking forward to continue building.